Life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't pause when you're feeling down or tired. Every day, whether you're at your best or your worst, life keeps moving. And that's why you need to show up, even on your worst day. Think about it. What makes a champion? Is it the person who only performs when everything's going their way? No. A true champion is someone who pushes through when things are tough. Someone who shows up when they least feel like it. You see, your worst day is your greatest opportunity. It's your chance to prove to yourself what you're really made of. It's easy to show up when you're feeling great, when you're motivated, when everything's going your way. But when you show up on your worst day, that's when you truly grow. Let me tell you something. Success isn't about being perfect. It's not about always feeling ready. Success is about consistency. It's about showing up day after day, regardless of how you feel. Many people are waiting for the right moment. They're waiting to feel inspired. They're waiting for the perfect conditions. But let me tell you, if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. The secret is to create your own perfect conditions by showing up no matter what. You might be thinking, but how can I perform well on my worst day? Here's the truth. You don't have to perform at your best. You just have to show up. Because showing up is half the battle. No, it's more than half the battle. It's 90 of success. When you show up on your worst day, you're building resilience. You're strengthening your character. You're proving to yourself that you're committed to your goals, no matter what. And that, my friend, is what separates the achievers from the dreamers. Think about the great achievers in history. Do you think they always felt like showing up? Do you think they always felt motivated? Of course not. They showed up anyway. They pushed through their worst days. And that's what made them great. You'd have greatness within you. But that greatness will never shine if you only show up when you feel like it. Your greatness emerges when you push through your worst days. When you show up despite feeling tired, despite feeling discouraged, despite feeling like you can't do it. Here's something powerful. Your worst day is often the day you need to show up the most. It's on your worst day that you have the most to gain. Because when you show up on your worst day, you're not just doing the task at hand. You're building your character. You're strengthening your will. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Imagine if you only went to work when you felt like it. Imagine if you only cared for your family when you were in a good mood. Imagine if you only pursued your dreams when everything was going your way. Where would that lead you? Nowhere good, I can tell you that. Success is built on the foundation of showing up, especially when you don't feel like it. It's in those moments, those challenging times, that you truly grow. It's in those moments that you become the person you're meant to be. You see, life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. And how do you get stronger? By showing up on your worst days. By pushing through when everything in you wants to quit. By taking one more step when you feel like you can't go on. Let me tell you a secret. Your worst day is often the day before your breakthrough. It's often the day before things start to turn around. But if you don't show up on that worst day, you'll miss the breakthrough. You'll miss the turnaround. Think about a muscle. How does it grow? By being pushed to its limit, by being stressed. It's in the recovery from that stress that the muscle grows stronger. The same is true for you, your character, your resilience, your strength. They all grow when you push through your worst days. You might be thinking, but what if I show up and I fail? Well, let me ask you this. What if you don't show up and you miss out on success? Which is worse? Failing after trying or never knowing what could have been because you didn't try. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed many times. But you know what? They showed up again the next day. They showed up on their worst days. Here's something powerful. When you show up on your worst day, you're sending a message to yourself. You're saying, I am committed. I am dedicated. I am unstoppable. And when you send that message to yourself consistently, you start to believe it. And when you believe, you become it. You see, showing up on your worst day isn't just about the task at hand. It's about who you become in the process. It's about the strength you build. It's about the confidence you gain. It's about the character you develop. Think about it this way. If you can show up on your worst day, what can stop you on your best day? If you can push through when everything is against you, how unstoppable will you be when things are going your way? Your worst day is your greatest teacher. That's on your worst day that you learn the most about yourself. It's on your worst day that you discover what you're truly capable of. But only if you show up. Let me tell you something. The world doesn't care about your excuses. The world doesn't care if you're having a bad day. The world rewards those who show up regardless of how they feel. The world rewards consistency, not perfection. You might be thinking, but I don't feel motivated. Here's a secret. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated to act. You act, and then you feel motivated. So show up even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Imagine if you only ate when you felt hungry. Imagine if you only slept when you felt tired. Your body needs consistent nourishment and rest, regardless of how you feel. The same is true for your goals, your dreams, your purpose. They need your consistent attention and effort, regardless of how you feel. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of self-respect. It's you telling yourself, I am worth the effort. My dreams are worth the effort. My purpose is worth the effort. When you show up on your worst day, you're honoring your commitments to yourself. You're something powerful. When you show up on your worst day, you're not just affecting yourself. You're affecting everyone around you. You're setting an example. You're inspiring others to push through their own worst days. Think about the people you admire. The leaders, the achievers, the difference makers. Do you think they always feel like showing up? Of course not. But they do it anyway. And that's what makes them who they are. That's what makes them worthy of admiration. You have that same potential within you. You have the ability to be someone others admire, someone others look up to. But that potential will only be realized if you show up, especially on your worst days. Let me tell you something. Your worst day is often when you need to show up the most. It's often when others need you the most. It's often when the world needs your gifts the most. But if you don't show up, those needs go unmet. If you don't show up, the world misses out on what only you can offer. You see, showing up on your worst day isn't just about you. It's about your purpose. It's about your contribution to the world. It's about the lives you can touch, the difference you can make, but only if you show up. Imagine if every great invention, every great work of art, every great achievement had been abandoned because the creator was having a bad day. Where would we be? We'd be living in a world of unfulfilled potential. A world of what ifs and could have been. Don't let that be your story. Don't let your worst days stop you from achieving your best life. Show up. Push through. You might be thinking, but what if I show up and I'm not at my best? Here's the truth. Your 50 might be someone else's 100. Your worst day might be the day someone needs to see you pushing through. Your imperfect effort might be the inspiration someone else needs. You see, when you show up on your worst day, you're not just doing it for yourself. No. You're doing it for everyone who's watching. You're doing it for everyone who needs to see that it's possible to push through tough times. You're doing it for everyone who needs hope. Let me tell you something powerful. Your worst day is often the day you learn the most. It's the day you grow the most. It's the day you become stronger than you were yesterday, but only if you show up. Think about a diamond. How is it formed? Under pressure, in darkness, in conditions that seem impossible, but it emerges as something beautiful, something valuable. The same is true for you. Your worst days, your toughest times, they're forming you into something beautiful, something valuable. But only if you show up. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of self-love. It's you telling yourself, I believe in you. I believe in your potential. I believe in your dreams. When you show up on your worst day, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your future. Here's something to consider. What if your worst day is actually your best opportunity? What if it's the day you're meant to have a breakthrough? What if it's the day you're meant to inspire someone? What if it's the day you're meant to change a life? But if you don't show up, you'll never know. You might be thinking, but I failed before. I've tried, and it didn't work out. Let me tell you something. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson. It's a stepping stone. Every failure you've experienced has prepared you for this moment, for this day, even if it's your worst day. You see, showing up on your worst day is a testament to your commitment, right? It's proof of your dedication. It's evidence of your character. When you show up on your worst day, you're telling the world, I'm here, I'm committed, I'm not going anywhere. Think about a tree. Does it stop growing when the weather is bad? Does it stop reaching for the sun when it's cloudy? No. It keeps growing. It keeps reaching. Day after day, regardless of the conditions. That's how you need to be. Keep growing. Keep reaching, especially on your worst days. Let me tell you something powerful. Your worst day is often when you're on the brink of a breakthrough. It's often when you're about to reach a new level. It's often when you're about to discover something amazing about yourself. But if you don't show up, you'll miss it. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of courage. It's you facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. It's you saying, I'm bigger than my bad day. I'm stronger than my struggles. I'm more than my mood. Here's the truth that might be hard to hear. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to show up for you if you don't show up for yourself. Your dreams, your goals, your purpose, they're waiting for you. But you have to show up, especially on your worst days. Think about an athlete. Do they only train when they feel like it? Do they only compete when conditions are perfect? No. They show up day after day regardless of how they feel. They compete in all conditions. That's what makes them champions. And you have that same potential within you. You might be thinking, but I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed to hear you. I understand. But let me tell you something. Those feelings are temporary. They will pass. But if you let those feelings stop you from showing up, you're letting temporary feelings rob you of permanent progress. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of faith. It's you believing in something you can't see yet. It's you trusting in a future that hasn't arrived yet. It's you holding on to hope when things seem hopeless. Let me tell you something powerful. Your worst day is often the day you inspire others the most. It's the day your example speaks louder than your words. It's the day your actions inspire more than your achievements. But only if you show up. Think about a lighthouse. Does it only shine on calm days? Does it only guide ships when the sea is smooth? No. It shines brightest in the storm. It guides most powerfully in the darkness. That's what you're called to be. A lighthouse. Shining brightest on your worst days, guiding others through their storms. Now, you see, showing up on your worst day is a form of leadership. You're leading by example. It's you showing others what's possible. It's you paving the way for others to follow. Here's something to consider. What if your worst day is actually preparing you for your best day? What if it's strengthening you for a future challenge? What if it's equipping you with the resilience you'll need for a future opportunity? But if you don't show up, you'll miss out on that preparation. You might be thinking, but I've tried before and it didn't work out. Let me tell you something. Every attempt, every try, every effort, they're all steps forward. They're all moving you closer to your goal. Even if you can't see the progress yet, even if it feels like you're going backwards, you're moving forward. But only if you keep showing up. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of self-discipline. It's you mastering your emotions. It's you controlling your actions regardless of your feelings. It's you becoming the master of your life rather than a slave to your moods. Think about a seed. Does it know what it would become when it's planted in the dark soil? Does it understand the process it must go through to become a mighty tree? No, but it pushes through anyway. It grows anyway. It becomes what it's meant to be. But only because it shows up day after day, pushing through the soil, reaching for the light. Let me tell you something powerful. Your worst day is often the day you need to show up the most for others. It's often the day someone else needs your example, your encouragement, your strength. It's often the day you can make the biggest difference in someone else's life. But only if you show up. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of gratitude. It's you appreciating the opportunity to try again. It's you being thankful for another chance. It's you recognizing that even your worst day is a gift that many would love to have. Here's a truth that might surprise. Your worst day is often your most important day. It's the day that defines you. It's the day that shapes your character. It's the day that determines your future. But only if you show up. Think about a fire. What happens when you add pressure to it? When you try to put it out, it grows stronger. It burns brighter. That's what you're called to be, a fire that grows stronger under pressure. In a light that shines brighter in darkness, but only if you show up, especially on your worst days. You might be thinking, but I don't see any results. I don't see any progress. Let me tell you something. Progress isn't always visible. Change isn't always immediate. Growth isn't always obvious, but it's happening. Every time you show up, especially on your worst day, you're making progress. You're creating change. You're experiencing growth. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of self-respect. You honoring your commitments to yourself. It's you keeping your word to yourself. It's you proving to yourself that you can trust yourself. Let me tell you something powerful. Your worst day is often the day you learn the most about yourself. It's the day you discover strengths you didn't know you had. It's the day you uncover potential you didn't realize was there. But only if you show up. Think about marathon runner. Do they stop when they hit the wall? Do they quit when their body screams for rest? No. They push through. They keep going. They finish the race. That's what you're called to do. Push through. Keep going. Finish your race. You see, showing up on your worst day is a form of love. Love for yourself. Love for your dreams. Love for your dreams. Love for your purpose. Love for the people you're meant to impact. Love for the life you're meant to live. Here's something to consider. What if your worst day is actually your best teacher? What if it's showing you what you're made of? What if it's revealing to you what really matters? But if you don't show up, you'll miss the lesson. You might be thinking, but I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I fail. Let me tell you something. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Improvement is. Growth is. And you can make progress, improve, and grow even on your worst, but only if you show up.